This week, we were just talking about how I start the episode the same way every time. So this week, this week, right?
Yeah, this week.
Hell, so there's been some good things and some bad things, and we'll talk about both of them. But the main thing we'll do, we'll talk about Revolution that's coming up here this weekend. But before that, what have you liked this week? What is something that you've liked since the last time we podcasted? I guess it's been maybe about a week and a half.
The only two things that really jump out at me, Cesaro is a free agent, and Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels. That's a whole lot of Daniel, so it threw me. Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels had a banger of a match to open Dynamite this week, reinforcing just how damn good Christopher Daniels is. And
we got that match, even though Daniels is done with AEW in ring. We got that because TK's big announcement is that he bought Ring of Honor, and he fantasy booked the match from the very first pay-per-view that they did, which was Daniels and Bryan and maybe someone else. Did they say it was a triple threat? I'm not entirely sure.
I don't remember. I think it was. They said it was just the two of them, but I'm not entirely sure.
All right. Well, either way, pretty damn good match. Glad we got it, and I'm excited about what this Ring of Honor sale could mean. I'm not entirely sure what it actually ends up being. The fantasy booking thing that I'm on board for is Cody Rhodes comes back and he gets to run kind of Ring of Honor. It's it's the NXT 1.0 Dusty that Cody can have control over, and there can be some back and forth with AEW and ROH, but Cody can have his little deal over there.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they bring Cody in and sign Regal, and Ring of Honor is just black and gold NXT, from the start. I'm on board entirely, mostly because it's going to there's no way they're not going to have some sort of TV deal soon. I don't know what the long-term remaining TV deals that Sinclair had in place are. I would assume they come with it, but they also just sort of yanked it off TV and have just been showing reruns. So I don't know if maybe those are just null and void. So
I think it's just done because they are the TV contract. Sinclair was. So with them gone, with it being sold, why do this anymore? So who knows? But I'm excited about what's to come. Man, that tag team battle royal was just too many people.
Yeah, it was. The one last week I didn't like it because everybody started in the ring together. This week I thought, okay, it's going to be Royal Rumble style, so this should be a little more manageable. But instead, they just had everybody come to the ring before they started eliminating folks. Sorry, they had just about everybody still in the ring, except for Pillman, who was eliminated during a commercial break, just randomly. Griff made it pretty damn far towards the end, but yeah, Pillman Jr. eliminated during a commercial break.
Man, they are getting better about it, but it's still like the whole War Games match was just I'm sorry, what is it called? Blood and Guts?
Blood and Guts, yeah.
That was, they went to a commercial break, and they'd come back, and just someone was just completely busted open, and you're like, what happened? I don't understand what happened. And it's AEW does have a bad time of that with some important stuff happening during commercial breaks, and they're not as good at timing it. WWE's they got that so down.
Yeah, they know if they don't have the match booked around a commercial that they legitimately plan for picture in picture. That's why it's only on a third of the matches. But yeah, when AEW does it, you've got to pay attention during the commercials because you'll miss I don't know, 9 eliminations from a battle royal, or Cody stage diving, face planting into a fucking barbed wire fence. I don't know. They'll get better about it, I think, but I do hope if they end up with like a streaming sort of deal through Warner Media that you can start to get episodes where they don't have to put the commercials in.
Right.
I mean, Excalibur's still going to say, we'll stay with this during picture-in-picture, which is fine, but, it won't actually go to it. It'll just, show you as it was intended.
So I don't know if anyone listening to this has tried it out, but I have a VPN, but it's just kind of a pain in the ass to like cast like Fight TV, to sign into my VPN, set myself for England, and then cast it to my TV. It was just too much. But during their commercial breaks, when they would go to commercial breaks, it's just like silent. Like Excalibur, JR, and everybody, they just take that break for like 4 minutes or whatever. With the exception is if what would normally be in a picture-in-picture, they'll obviously keep on going there because it's stuff. But like a lot of times, it's just nothing, which is just interesting. But yeah, I would love to get that. I wonder if they would do something different if they did, routinely put stuff up on HBO Max or something. But we're getting some soccer matches added to HBO Max here pretty soon. So like they are branching out more into sports. So it's conceivable that we're going to get we're going to get something here pretty soon. A
weekly Ring of Honor show on HBO Max would be, at least then they could do it a little more. They could keep it a little more indie, probably throw in a few more, death matches here and there that I'm not terribly thrilled about, but like keeps a larger audience tuning in sort of thing. So that would be kind of cool, actually, if HBO was part of this whole thing, to get Ring of Honor like a weekly spot.
And I think it needs to be on something better than YouTube. I mean, no offense to YouTube and stuff, but Dark and Dark Elevation, there's just like kind of a lower quality, just inherent lower quality that it has just like, they're not good enough to get some kind of deal. If it's on like exclusively streaming on HBO Max, that's still something. Like that's still something that you've got there's a barrier to entry that's just like, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah. In my opinion, that's what I think.
And like the one or two times I've tried to watch Dark, you get a guy like goes halfway through the flip in a Spanish Fly, and then you get a Toyota commercial just for no fucking reason, and it comes back from it, and they're both just hitting the mat. You don't remember what happened. So yeah, YouTube is not ideal for, and I'm never going to pay for a premium YouTube. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. There's so much content that you can move Cobra Kai back, and I'm still not going to pay for premium YouTube. So yeah, they've gone a little haywire with the damn commercials, and it makes it borderline unwatchable. Right.
So Cesaro or Claudio, whatever. I mean, I'm assuming it was going back by Claudio, but does it feel inevitable that he's, could be back to Ring of Honor? He has a storied history there. They would, like, you watch those Ring of Honor shows and it's clips of, like, Rollins, Cesaro, like, Samoa Joe, like, all these people that, like, it was like, this would have been really cool to watch back when that was on. So
I think Ring of Honor is a good spot. There's a little bit of a logjam at the top of AEW. I would really like to see... and we'll get into this more as we talk about Revolution. But if Eddie Kingston does lose to Jericho, I'd kind of like to see Eddie go to Ring of Honor and be able to get some wins. Because I was heartbroken when he ate the loss for CM Punk. I'm gonna be really upset if he loses to Jericho.
The influencer?
I think it would be cool if he went back, because I know he's got a great relationship and a history with Cesaro, Claudio. They could work together in Ring of Honor, bring a little bit more clout to it. You've got Eddie there, so that if you are bringing in a lot of the younger, greener talent, he can work with them on promo stuff. Because I mean, I've seen the video clips backstage. He's a locker room leader, and he rallies the troops at every turn. So he would be a good presence to have if you're going to have a ton of the younger indie crowd running that show.
Man, I'd love to see. What if like he's just done wrestling and he actually just signed a deal with the Food Network and it's just Claudio's Cafe and that's it. No more wrestling. All he does is just travel the U.S. and like Switzerland or something like that, go into coffee shops.
Yeah, it would have to be coffee shops because I watched the ride along that was him and Sheamus. And Sheamus was like, I hate riding with him. He won't eat anything. You get hungry, and he has to drive for 2 more hours just to find a sign for something he's willing to put in his body. He's like, you work out 4 hours a day. Just eat something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But beyond that, I felt like there was a lot going on with I felt like it was a very crowded Revolution Go Home show. But let's just get into Revolution, right? We've got 2 matches for the buy-in announced. We've got Statlander versus Layla Hirsch. Which
I'm excited for that one. Yeah, I've been waiting for that one for a bit now. I mean, they're both they're beasts. So it should be it's going to be kind of like if just a match between. It'll be the female version of Cage and Hobbs. Like it's going to be brutal and violent, and I'm excited for it.
You know what we're also going to get? We're going to get your favorite wrestler, QT Marshall, versus Hook.
Thank God. I was afraid that I would have to watch an entire pay-per-view and not see QT.
We got to tune in for the buy-in so you don't miss it.
I'm gonna start buying the shoot videos for everybody for their birthdays, and they're all going to be QT, just to be a dick. Yes, man. We are getting our first taste of Hook at a big show. It is the buy-in. You can't really just like shoehorn him into a pay-per-view spot yet. But yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty quick squash. I don't think it's going to be quite like Paul White coming out and just punching QT once and it ends. But it should be pretty good. QT has trained with Hook, so they're familiar with each other. I mean, realistically, this could be a 15-minute banger, as familiar with each other as they are. So yeah. I never get my hopes up for anything involving QT, but Hook's involved. So I'm gonna stay optimistic this time.
We've got on the main show. We're going to start by the order I have on this list here. We got the Face of the Revolution ladder match. So we have Christian Cage or Ethan Page. We got the Cage versus Page match tonight, versus Keith Lee, or just one of the variations of Cage and Page that we can do on AEW.
Yeah, I'm so excited that they're leaning into the memes because they're pretty great. Everybody's got the same damn last name. Let's put them all in a cage match. Cage and Page and
it's somehow like insurance to keep Vince McMahon from somehow buying AEW because Vince's brain couldn't handle so many people with the same last name like wrestling. It's just like, I can't deal with it. I don't want it.
Everybody would have to drop their last names anyways. It would just be Christian and Ethan against Hangman and Diamond Dallas.
Yeah. We've got Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Orange Cassidy. The crazy thing about this is there's not many, like, you kind of anticipate like a ladder match to have like at least one kind of high flying dude. But this is I don't know, man. Beefy boys in this match.
What side are you reading the card from?
Oh, I just searched for the first thing. It says ewrestlingnews.com.
Okay, I was just curious if you were on AEW's site, if it actually does mention it as being a 7-man. I
right.
know at one point Excalibur said it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's next Thursday is legally Jeff Hardy's first day, but we all know that didn't slow Andrade down.
Right.
So, plus Jeff Hardy also didn't fail that drug test, so he's kind of got a wrongful termination case. They really probably should just not push it if he wants to show up early. But yeah, I'm excited. It is kind of a weird thing that it's all beefy big boys. But if you look at that list, we've seen what Keith Lee is willing to do for a guy his size.
Yeah.
I've watched him Suicida over the onto Darby at an Evolve show. He throws caution to the wind. Hobbs is awesome. As much as I love Keith Lee, I'm taking Wardlow. I think the road is paved for Wardlow to win here, for Wardlow to take that belt, and that belt be the catalyst for him finally feuding with MJF.
Yeah.
So I'm 100%. I'm going Wardlow.
Just on a side note, man, Ricky Starks and Keith Lee already entertaining me. Like Ricky, was indubitably interrupting Keith Lee's promo. I don't know, those two have a chemistry on promos already, so I'm excited to see what the future holds there. And I mean, the Keith Lee Will Hobbs match, we didn't already get that, did we? At some point, I mean, I think Keith Lee's wrestled 2 matches, so probably not.
Yeah, it was. I think it was smaller guys to make him look like that much more of a beast. I can't remember who the second one was. Isaiah Cassidy ate all those gnarly bumps in the first one.
Yeah. Either way, maybe I'm just already fantasy booking Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I think could be a pretty damn good match, and I'd love to see those 2 big dudes bring it. We have I'll skip the Women's World Championship match. We have the dog collar match, CM Punk versus MJF. Dog collar matches make me really uncomfortable. I'm not looking forward to it. And I'm also kind of looking forward to this promo, this program being over. It's had some good moments, but it's just gone on for a long time, and it's not my cup of tea. This whole promo.
It's had the longevity of Inner Circle versus MJF, basically, and that's way too long. They eat up a ton of TV time every week on an incredibly inflated roster. You can't put that much time into 2 dudes. So I'm ready for it to be over. I don't think it's going to be as uncomfortable as previous. It's sure as shit not going to be the Cody Brody Lee match. I think they're gonna keep it kind of tame. They've got to protect CM Punk. He's a hell of an investment, so they've got to keep him safe here. So I think it's gonna inevitably Punk's gonna get the win. MJF did take that loss. It was DQ, but he does have a loss on his record, so it's not going to ruin any sort of streak at this point. But yeah, CM Punk's going to get the win. It's going to be pretty tame for a dog collar match.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah, hopefully they got all the blood out of the way here on this last Dynamite. That was a lot of blood. I looked down for a minute, and then all of a sudden, there was just blood everywhere. I don't understand. A match that I feel like should have been on the buy-in, with the exception of the fact that I feel like TK feels like he's paying Sting too much money to put on free for on YouTube. We have the Andrade Hardy Family Office, including Andrade himself, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy versus Sting, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin. I don't really care for. There doesn't seem like there's any motivation really here.
I'm with you. it's a clusterfuck. Like it's just sort of thrown together. So I absolutely would have just tossed it on the buy-in. I realized that Sammy came out and like saved Darby once. Darby and Sting came out and saved Sammy to repay the favor. That does not a feud make.
And then Andrade has been trying to buy Darby off of Sting for the last couple of months, which I just don't understand either.
Yeah, that's weird. That they're trying to set the stage for Andrade to try and swoop in and take the HFO from Matt Hardy, but it hasn't really progressed at any great rate. So it's I hate to say that a Sting match has no legs to it, but I'm not invested in this one. Sting and Darby will not lose, but there's no real emotional investment in this one.
Yeah. We kind of talked about this before. Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. You mentioned a little bit about it. I mean, Jericho's mentioned it himself. Like when the big moment comes, Eddie Kingston always comes up short.
Yeah.
I feel like Eddie's got to win this. And I kind of feel like Jericho does too.
I feel like that was Jericho's way of teeing this up for Eddie to finally get over the hump. And it was sort of like him saying, like, I'm willing to do the job for you. I would love to see Eddie get the big win. Jericho's kind of he's the big deal here. I mean, he's your top, all the great guys that are in this company aside, Jericho is your top dog. So for him to do the job for Eddie Kingston is a hell of a thing. But I would absolutely love to see it.
Right. And I think, your solution, if it doesn't happen, it's going to break my heart. And like whatever's going to come after that, it's got to be a damn good match to like recover from that. Cause it really took the win. Like honestly, Hangman winning in that Omega match, which also I think didn't help that Omega was hurt and, can only really go like the 10 minutes that they went. I just really, I couldn't get invested in that match.
Well, and
I was so excited about it.
I worry too that if Eddie eats the loss here, that he just kind of gets tossed back in with Santana and Ortiz, and it eventually, if he keeps losing the big singles matches and then just getting thrown back in with other groups, or if he's standing beside Mox, he's going to disappear. And that would be tragic for a guy that's as damn good as he is on the mic.
Speaking of Mox, we got Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley, which weirdly enough could be maybe it's not weird. I think it's my most anticipated match because I don't really know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be electric. I know these guys have fought each other before in WWE, but I really do think it could be magic. And I really don't know. I think they've got options to go with on either side of the outcome. As far as where the story progresses. And so I'm excited about that.
All the things you're nervous about in the dog collar match, I'm terrified of in this one. The only saving grace I have here is that it's not any sort of lights out gimmick match where they can just do whatever the hell they want and they go through a bed made of barbed wire like Mox and Omega. There's gonna be a lot of blood in this one. They set the stage for that. So this is the one that I'm worried about. Just for as a viewer that doesn't do as well with the blood. But this match is going to be otherworldly. I think it's going to be the match that they always wanted to have on the bigger stage. And now they've got a platform where they're literally just going to be given carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want in this one, and they're going to put on a show.
I am a fan of, either way, I'm a fan of the proposed stable that Danielson decided to suggest to Moxley. So I feel like it could still happen whether Moxley wins, whether Danielson wins. I think there's a good chance that we get some version of what Danielson said, which makes me excited. I think it's a cool way of doing that and causes some conflicts in some already existing groups. We're going to talk about the 3-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You have Jurassic Express versus the survivors of the 2 clusterfuck matches from the last couple of weeks, Red Dragon and the Young Bucks.
You mean the 2 least surprising Battle Royal winners of all time? I mean, at least going into the Royal Rumble, you didn't know Brock was coming out at 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really weird scenario where the champs feel like a non-factor going into a match.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be interesting. I almost feel like this is if for people that have kind of been following recently, Impact, Switch is making a hell of a lot of changes in Bullet Club. He just kind of threw Gorillas of Destiny to the side. He has brought Gallows and Anderson back into the fold. I think this one's going to end with Switch picking one of these teams and having a hand in how this thing comes to a conclusion.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that Jurassic Express retains just on the sheer fact that those other 2 teams cancel each other out.
Yeah,
so
it's a possibility. For some reason, I'm just convinced that they're going to have Switch is going to cost the Young Bucks this match and align with Red Dragon, and then Adam Cole's going to have to make a decision. He's also going to turn on the Bucks, but it's going to be probably towards Double or Nothing. I would imagine that Kenny Omega's situation is going to determine the speed with which this plays out. But I can almost bet that the Bucks are going to eat the pin here. I'm not real sure which side's going to do the pinning.
Yeah. And it's just kind of a lame that, I mean, I love Jurassic Express, but they just kind of felt like they've ceased to exist since they've been champion. Honestly,
yeah.
like
the other thing too is that the Acclaimed are the number one ranked contenders. If you really wanted to do this thing, Red Dragon and the Young Bucks could have had a number 1 contenders match here. The Jurassic Express and the Acclaimed could have had a match here. And then, I mean, at least that way they don't feel like as much of a, they're the third wheel here.
right.
They're the least interesting detail in their own champion or their own title defense, which is a disservice to those guys.
We've got Jade Cargill versus Ty Conti for the TBS Women's Championship.
This match will be 3 minutes. It's going to be a cool down match before Cole and Paige. Jade Cargill's just going to slaughter her.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, I almost kind of feel like the TNT and the TBS titles should just be on TV, like a TV title. Like I'm a fan of that. I don't feel like it. I mean, they're doing tonight. They're doing the night we're recording this. They're doing a 3-way for the TNT title. Is it Andrade, Sammy, and Darby?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. So you got that going on. So I don't know. I think that's the right spot for that, and I just feel like this TBS Championship match should all. But I think you're right. The fact that it's on this card probably means that it's going to be a kind of a short cool down squash match. Maybe after Eddie Kingston loses to Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
so.
I think the biggest problem here is that there is not a legitimate contender to Cargill the way she's been built. I mean, it just is what it is. You've got to build somebody up as somebody who could actually take this belt. Thunder Rosa is probably the closest to that, as she got cheated in the tournament itself. But obviously she's going after the big belt. I think Statlander has enough cred that she could possibly be taken seriously. But I mean, Conti's lost enough times that she doesn't seem credible yet. So it's going to be a cool down match somewhere on this card, and a very quick one.
And then we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. We have Dr. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. This is a little weird one because, you mentioned the other day, like WWE booking, Thunder Rosa is automatically guaranteed to lose because she, what did she do?
She got the pin over, was it
Hayter or something, maybe?
Yeah, Jamie Hayter. She got the pin on Jamie Hayter in her Go Home Dynamite tag match. Which, I mean, even the booking of that match felt very, very Vince McMahon, Teddy Long to me. It just didn't have the Undertaker. But yeah, she got the pin to close that match out. So she is just 100% guaranteed to lose this title match.
Yeah,
that's how my brain. That's how my brain is wired at this point. If you get the pin on the Go Home show, you are screwed by the time you get to Sunday.
I kind of feel like there's also kind of reports today that Thunder Rosa may or may not be slightly injured. The severity is not known, but I'm hoping she's not. I don't want to see her go away, but I do feel like if she's injured enough that even if the idea was to put the title on her, I almost kind of feel like they're like, let's pump the brakes, so let's do it again in a couple months or whatever to your 100%. That way she can have a good first run. I do kind of feel like we're getting close to the end of Britt Baker's run, and I do think that Thunder Rosa is the one to do it. Whether it's this Sunday or not is the question.
I think I'm going to take Britt Baker to retain, injury aside, and I think it's because of how I feel about the story that exists and is in place for Thunder Rosa to actually be the one that can take that TBS title. There's enough people that don't like Britt in storyline and are reasonably decent contenders, that I think you could kind of, I mean, there's 2.5 months between Revolution and Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Right at 3 months. In 3 months' time, you could take one of those storylines and build to a contender. You could bring Sheeta back. I mean, that could work. But basically, every woman on that roster hates Britt Baker in storyline. So all of that could function. I think Thunder Rosa needs to be free to challenge for that TBS belt, just because she's the only one with credibility. You can't immediately take one belt off Britt Baker and then shoehorn her into a TBS title feud. It doesn't work. But I think Britt will retain here. I don't think it's quite time for somebody to dethrone her just yet. Mostly because she is still probably the face of the company. So I think she's kind of got a Charlotte Flair thing working for her right now.
Well, my money is still on Thunder Rosa, so we'll see. I think this is the only one we really have a clear difference here. But that brings us to our main event. Hangman Adam Page is defending his championship to the other Adam Cole. Are there more Adams actually than Cole and Page? I almost feel like there's probably 5 more, but who knows?
There's probably 11 of them in the Dark Order. I have no idea. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, I love Adam Cole, and I almost feel like this pay-per-view could have an Undisputed Era kind of vibe to it, like where they sort of called their shots and they interfered in both the tag and the championship match at that takeover. I think Switchblade could get involved here too. You don't get Jay White without paying a pretty penny for him. So use him as much as possible. Now that I've seen him wrestle on Impact, the dude is awesome. That match with Trent was amazing. I really do. I think that he could get involved in both cases here. Kind of pick and choose his spots and build what's going to be Bullet Club AEW. And it's not going to be the Elite. So I don't know which Adam he would pick in that scenario. Probably Cole, just because I assume he's going to align with Red Dragon. But I don't know. If we're just going straight clean ending here, I don't know how to pick one.
I still feel like it's Hangman's time to run. I think he's got one. I think he might be in trouble when we get to Double or Nothing, but I think he's got this one still. And I think there could be some shenanigans here that kind of like mess things up for Cole. But we'll see here. I mean, we've had title changes happen on Revolution. We had Mox take it off of Jericho on Revolution, and then he got to be Pandemic champion, which was great. But yeah, it's I do think you could go either way. Just kind of like the Danielson Moxley match. There are ways forward on both results.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else? Oh, sorry.
Do you think Hangman retains until Omega can come back and they can actually have that match like it was supposed to happen?
I kind of believe so, yes. And I think Hangman's been proving himself that he can go the distance with Archer. He could go the distance with Danielson. Like, he had the match with Danielson that I feel like we should have had with Omega, really. Like that kind of like 30-ish minutes match. Like, to me, I think that was the match that I wanted to see in Minneapolis. But we just got it with somebody else.
I'll go a step further. Even if he's not 100%, is Omega the Joker to get us to All Out?
I think at that point, yeah, he could be, because like Hangman was also the Joker at some point, and he was like at the time kind of that for the first Double or Nothing, and he kind of healed up and he got to have that match at All Out. Yeah, I think that's very, very much possible. So tickets went on sale this week. I will be there. I bought a combo ticket. I might just spend a week in Vegas, which is also sounds like hell. So
nightmarish.
I might stay off the strip at Sam's Town. Who knows? At least Sam's Town is its own weird, kitschy thing that doesn't feel like Vegas. So it feels a little nicer.
Plus, you've got a movie theater and a bowling alley, and you can actually do things that aren't just losing your shit in Vegas.
Man, is it an AMC? I think it's an AMC too, man. This episode's sponsored by AMC A-List. You can go see like 3 movies a week. We're not actually sponsored by anybody. Matt couldn't even get that pillow guy to sponsor us. So
no, and I was willing to be a Trumper if he was going to pay us enough. My soul is very much purchasable. So yeah, while we're on AMC A-List, we'll just completely go against the grain here. This variable pricing thing is horse shit. How do you fucking do that? Like, you get to the ticket booth and you look up and like next to each one of the times there's a different price for each movie?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, does that mean that the next time I go see some artsy indie movie at an AMC, it's $2 because I gave $13 for Batman?
Like, I don't know. Man, you owe me have to pay $13.
13 is the 25% off matinee Dolby price.
Oh, all right.
If I went and sat in just the standard room, I think it's like 9. So yeah, it's harder for me to bite off on A-list with a newborn. When my movies are fairly cheap here anyway.
Yeah.
I do not miss ticket prices from Atlanta. That's for fucking sure.
All right. Well, AMC regular variable pricing sucks, and we're gonna get it with the Batman. And who knows if that movie's good? I'm surprised we didn't have some kind of weird WWE tie-in where they didn't have, I don't know, someone as the Riddler, like randomly messing with. Was it before the Retribution happened? They had all those vignettes with like the person controlling
yeah. Oh, that's what they should. AMC should have just like ignored it and it could have been like a guerrilla marketing thing that the Riddler was screwing with ticket prices in their system. Like I wouldn't have even like acknowledged it. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, AMC, if you want to sponsor us, we will plug A-List because it's a decent deal for most people. You can see IMAX movies with your 3 tickets if that's your thing. It makes me nauseous.
I saw Dune in there, but I saw it in the like the very top, so it was like it felt like more like a normal screen at that point still. But yeah, all right. Well, we got Revolution coming up, and we're gonna do a little episode early next week to kind of recap it. And then we might take a little bit of a break. I got a little busy thing, or we might have a guest host. I don't know. If you listen to this and you were like, "Hey, I want to talk to Matt about wrestling," and have it be recorded, let us know, and you can maybe sub in for me for a couple weeks.
We're 42 minutes into this, so if you've stuck around and you would like to be a guest host, we don't even have to recap stuff. If you want to come on here and debate who the GOAT is. If you want to come on here and talk about WCW NWO Revenge for Nintendo 64, if you want to do a movie review of Money Plane, let's do it. Come on. I've seen all the Marine movies twice, and the last 4 are not good. The first 2 were okay. I'm not going to lie. I got a soft spot for Cena, and then the second one was just okay. Yeah. We'll talk about whatever the hell you want to. He's got a bunch of work coming up. I got a newborn, so I'm exhausted and spastic all the time. So shit, let's talk about whatever you want to. If you're here at 42 minutes and 33 seconds and you want to be my guest host for the next 3 weeks leading into WrestleMania, shoot me a text message. I'm assuming you're in my phone.
Yeah, man, it's really easy. We do it on Riverside. All you need is a plug for Riverside. All you need is your phone. There's an app for it, or you can use Chrome. It's pretty simple. You don't need any fancy equipment. We can make it work with what you got. And I guess we're powered by
Riverside FM.
Yeah, so we're powered by Riverside.
And I'll go one step further too. If your kids love wrestling, but you're afraid to let them listen to this podcast because I accidentally drop F-bombs all the time, I will do a kid-friendly version of the show with your children. They can tell me about their favorite wrestlers and favorite matches, and I will. I'll do the G-rated dark match. So yeah, let us know, and we will. We'll get it going.
All right. Well, let's cheers for that.
Oh, okay, fuck, we've got a soundboard now.
It's always been here, and I just never touched it until today. But yeah,
this is awesome.
Ring the bell and do all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Ring the bell, like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. And seriously, let me know if you want a guest host. I'm going to need one. Otherwise, it's just going to be me, and you do not want that.
And then also don't scare me by texting me saying, "You like Stone Cold?" And I'm thinking he got canceled or something like that. And then all of a sudden and it's just actually a listener, Justin, to our podcast, who is just like, is like, "Oh, I just didn't know that was like your favorite wrestler." And I'm like, whew. So Yeah.
Do you like Stone Cold? You
Yeah.
need to be more specific.
Yeah.
First, I need to know what's going on, and then
I like
Is
stayed
this
off
a-
the internet for a few hours, so I don't know. So,
is this a wrestling question? Are you asking about the Brian Bosworth film? Like, what are we talking about here?
all right. Well, see you early next week. Enjoy your wrestling.